So today there was a launch of two people on their way to the space station using a Soyuz. The MS-10 was the mission name, but it failed on its launch. It actually got partway up, but then the main core stopped working and they had to abort and came back down. Fortunately, they're all safe. But I thought I would put a compilation of several launches to the space station and see if we can figure out what may have happened and why it stopped working. So enjoy the three. We've got MS-10, MS-4, and MS-7, and we'll play them through as time synced as possible. And I'll probably stop in a couple places and we can see what we can see.
One.
Engine turbo pump at flight speed. Engines at maximum thrust. Liftoff.
And there is liftoff of the Soyuz MS-10 to the International Space Station, carrying Nick Hague and Alexei Ovchinin to the orbital complex. This again is Nick Hague's first time to launch to space, and Alexei Ovchinin's second.
One copy. Everything is good on board, and we are feeling well. Copy. Good luck, one.
Hearing good first stage performance for the Soyuz, delivering 930,000 pounds of thrust from its 4 boosters and single engine. Again, the first stage of the Soyuz measures 68 feet in length and 24 feet in diameter. It's burning liquid fuel for the first 2 minutes and 6 seconds of flight.
Seconds into the flight. The pressure in the chamber is nominal. Good luck, one. Copy. Everything is well on board. They're feeling well. Thank you. Copy.
Everything proceeding as intended for today's flight. Now just a little over a minute into it. The velocity of the Soyuz is about 1,100 miles per hour. View here of the crew inside the Soyuz now making their way to the International Space Station. Nick Hague there at the top of the screen and Alexei Ovchinin at the bottom.
This is good luck, one. Copy. Everything is well on board. The crew is feeling well. Copy.
View here of the Soyuz making its way into space. Everything looks...
So right at this point, you'll see on MS-4, that's when the tower abort system pops off the top. That's what's used to pull the whole capsule off if there is an emergency earlier in the flight up until this point. I think that may be a key point to take note of.
Looking good. Proceeding nominal.
Now right here, on the MS-10 view, you'll see the little, looks like a fluffy stuffed toy they have. It suddenly goes flying up. Basically, that's showing that it's a loss of acceleration. More like the engines have stopped or something's happened whereby they're no longer being pushed back in their seats, and that's shown by that creature, the little stuffed animal, flying up. And if you are paying attention to the MS-4 view, you'll notice that the abort tower just went past the boosters, the strap-on boosters in the animation.
Inaudible.
And we have the escape tower for the Soyuz now jettisoned.
So here's a zoomed in version of MS-10, and just after the boosters are separated. Usually you would see the 4 boosters and they come off at exactly the same time. So you've almost got a bit of symmetry going on of the 4 boosters, and they will spin around as they go down. But what you can see here is, one, they don't look symmetrical. So they're not coming away either at the same time or something's happened. But it looks like there's at least one other object, which is probably the tower, right at the top of the rocket that came off just moments before. But then it almost looks like there's a 6th object in there floating as well. So, and it's not spinning, so I'll highlight that one right there. You see it's kind of moving away. And then you've got the one over here in the corner, which was probably a tower, and then the other 4. But definitely does not look like a normal booster separation.
Everything continuing nominally. 4 strap-on boosters have been jettisoned, and they've completed their job, dropped away at an altitude of 28 statute miles. Soyuz traveling about 3,350 miles an hour.
Okay, so this point right here is when they say that the booster has failed. There's no longer any acceleration, no force pushing them up into space.
Failure of the booster. BS, yes, BS. Separation.
Now what's interesting is that the animation continues as though there is force and the booster's still working. So I have a feeling that on the Russian animation, it's not actually using the live signals that are coming from the craft. It's just based upon everything working perfectly fine. This is what will be going on. So that's an interesting fact to take note of, is that it's a kind of a lie.
Stand by. Buрлаки, do you have F1 illuminated? 11:42:17. Failure. 11:42:17 is the time of the failure.
Well, there you go. There you can see a comparison of several launches together. Looks like something definitely went wrong at the booster separation. There appears to be extra objects, possibly parts of the booster or the main center booster, causing whatever happened. My thought is that maybe the tower, when it popped off, ended up striking the booster right before it separated, or as it separated, knocked into it, and that caused all the issues that happened after it. Thankfully, the abort stuff afterwards all went as planned, so the crew are safe. Let me know what you think may have happened, and hopefully in the next few days we'll find out the true cause. Until next time, bye!